Hello everyone and welcome to my kitchen. My name is Enoch Goodfriend and this is my mother, Mrs. Betty Goodfriend. We're here at the Selig Center, the home of the Atlanta Jewish Federation, and we are going to be cooking for you today a real European Tzimmes, a richtigen Fleimen Tzimmes. My mother, who really is my teacher and mentor in the kitchen, I used to sit, when people used to watch TV, I used to sit on the table and eat the food that she used to make while she was making it. I have the privilege of being the caterer here at the Atlanta Jewish Federation, and it's been nothing but a fantastic trip. So anyway, let's get started. We're going to make a tzimmes. Now, before we do, growing up in the home that I did, my mother being from Lithuania, my father is from Poland, I grew up in a very European home. And Yontif, or the holidays, were really defined by a lot of things, but one of the things I remember most is smell. And when I would walk into the house and smell something cooking, I knew Yontif was coming, I knew Shabbos was coming, I knew Pesach was coming, and these are one of those dishes. So, can you tell us a little bit about tzimmes and when you grew up and how it was in your house and the ingredients?
The ingredients that we have here in front of us. First of all, before I start the ingredients, I want to tell you how happy I am to be in this kitchen, in the Federation, and the Federation doing such wonderful things for the community. I am very glad to present to you an old, typical Jewish dish that comes from Eastern Europe for many, many hundreds of years. What I have here are carrots, just carrots sliced, sweet potatoes. We did not have any sweet potatoes in Eastern Europe, and I don't think they have it now unless they import it from America. And here we have prunes, which was a luxury for us. That's why we use the prunes for this special dish only for a special occasion in our religious way of life. So we always had it for Passover, for Rosh Hashanah, for New Year's, and always for the Feast of Tabernacles, Sukkot, and if we were rich enough, we made it also for the Sabbath, because the Sabbath is always special. The day to rejoice and relax and enjoy what our good Lord created and eat good things.
Now, is this the same menu? Is this the same recipe that your mother used when you were growing up?
Exactly the same recipe. And except for the sweet potatoes, we used regular potatoes.
Now also, let me just say, the prunes, when you buy the prunes, make sure you buy pitted prunes. You can buy them in the store with the pits already removed. Very important.
In the old country, we didn't have pitted prunes, so we just pitted them ourselves. We poured hot water on it, and we pitted that. Now, in order to start with the tzimmes, I want to tell you how much and how many and how to mix it together so it should come out the delicious dish that it really is. So we have here 2 pounds of carrots. We have 3 big potatoes, medium would be fine, and we mix that together. And we put the prunes in. Now we need the pot to put it together. We have 1 pound of prunes, pitted prunes. Now we put in the meat. We had the first layer this on the bottom.
Now, what we use for meat, you can use several kinds of meat. We've got a cut up chuck roast that we're using. You can use flanken, you can use brisket, whatever you like. I like to use the chuck because it has nice marbling, and so as it cooks down, it retains its shape and it keeps a very nice texture. So that's the meat.
And you cut it in big chunks so everybody can have a piece.
I would say probably about 2 pounds of meat, but you really can go more or less, or You can make this a vegetarian dish by leaving the meat out. However, the flavor that the meat imparts to the dish is irreplaceable. Let me also just say that this particular recipe is perfectly okay for Passover.
You do it this way, you see, and then we'll put the rest of the meat on top of it. Okay, separate. You can also use a marrow bone and maybe a neck bone if you wish. And now we put the rest of the vegetables on it. And it really looks very pretty with the colors and everything. And we put in now 3 cups of cold water all over. Wait, we have to put the salt in this. So the salt can melt. This is the salt.
So she's going to put in, based on this recipe,
approximately a teaspoon. I'll mix it.
I would say almost a tablespoon of salt. And we use the kosher coarse salt. Try to use the kosher coarse salt whenever possible.
We pour it over. The salt is already melted. Now we will take a full teaspoon of cinnamon. Gives it a very good flavor. And half a cup of brown sugar. Half a cup of sugar, white sugar.
This
now
is 3/4 cup.
give me another cup of water. You have?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, we pour over the sugar, and then we put in 3/4 of a cup to a cup of honey. And the most important part of this dish, please remember, do not stir. Do not stir, it will become mush. And you don't want mush. You want to eat nice pieces of potato and carrot and prunes. Okay, now you'll cover it and put it on the stove. Bring it to a boil.
Okay, so we're going to take it now and we're going to put it on the stove.
Cover it.
So now we're going to add, we're going to make a knedel or a dumpling, and we're going to put it on top of the tzimmes.
So now this is the knedel. We start with 2 cups of grated and drained potatoes. White potatoes. Then we add a small onion, or a half of a big one, what I got here. Anyway, these are the potatoes and the onion. Even though we have a lot of sweet, we add the onion that gives that special taste to the dumpling. And we put in approximately a half a teaspoon of salt. Mama's half a teaspoon.
A couple of good pinches of the kosher salt.
Yeah, okay, that will be fine. And we will pour in 2 tablespoons of oil. In the old country, we used chicken fat, which we don't use anymore.
But I'll tell you, that may be true. I mean, it is true. But when I cook for myself or cook at home, I use schmaltz. I use the chicken fat because it tastes great. You know, it's like using heavy cream or light cream or real butter or margarine. So it's a choice we make.
Not ever a substitute takes the place of the real thing.
And that's the truth.
The real thing is still the real. And we have 2 eggs, 2 big eggs. Now, and that will work in. Now, slowly, wait, let me take it in. Now, slowly we have a cup of matzah meal. We put in a little bit at a time to work it in. Okay, you see it's changing already its shape. Okay, a little faster. Okay, that's it.
Now you notice that we don't put all of the matzah meal in at one time. That is because we are really cooking by feel and look. We're looking for a certain consistency of this dumpling. We're probably going to end up using this whole cup, but instead of adding it all at once, we mix in a little bit at a time so it gets good and mixed in with everything else instead of just pouring it all in.
Besides, matzah meal expands a little bit, so it takes in a little bit more liquid than the regular flour. So that's why it's better to watch it like
now,
this.
if you'll notice, I don't know if you've used matzah meal before, the consistency of matzah meal is more of a coarse grind than flour, which is more of a powder. And that's why it has that absorption.
You see it shaping already. Now,
So what would you like?
I would like to shape it with my hand, the way I do it.
You may.
Okay, wait, give me the rest of the flour. Don't take it away. Okay, I usually shape it like a meatloaf. So when it gets done, it's easier to slice it. So everybody gets a piece of that. Yeah, this is just perfect, this amount of flour. Give me the rest on here. Okay. And many times I used to make just like this. You see? Dumplings, and put it all around so everybody got some. And then, being that carrots give out a lot of liquid or fluid, it's good to put in a dumpling with the flour, so even if the flour goes down a little bit into the tzimmes itself, it gives it a little bit heavier sauce, which is perfect, like if though it has starch in it. So that's why it is important not to make it too loose, that it should stay the way it is. You see, I can pick it up and it won't fall apart, or it will not drip or anything.
Once the tzimmes comes to a boil, this is actually a two-step process. We started to get the water to boil. After the water comes to a boil, we then are going to add the knedel and then put it in the oven at about 350 degrees. So
between 350 to 325 sometimes, because, and I uncover it, you see how much more liquid it has now. You see? Started off with 3 cups, 3.5, 4 cups. Now we are going to give it a little bit of space here. Now put it in square oblong like this. You don't want it round? You want it round?
I want it like you want it.
Well, that doesn't make any difference. Okay. Tip it a little bit. I need a little sauce. Okay. Okay. That's it. Now it looks better. And now we have a tzimmes that we have to put in to cook for at least 3.5 hours. We start out for an hour on about 350, and then I leave it in for another 3 hours or so. You check it uncovered on 325.
Now we want to leave it in the oven for about 3.5 hours because we want all of these flavors to really meld and mix together, the meat to take it in. We want the meat to have a great texture and be very soft. Let me ask you, it seems to be very sweet. Why would we have a dish that has so much sugar, has honey, has cinnamon, has prunes? Why
If
sweet?
you don't like it so sweet, don't put any sugar or honey in. That's the only answer, because they can't give an answer on that. You put in as much as you can. People, don't forget that carrots by itself have sugar. Sweet potatoes are sweet potatoes. That answers already the question. So this is the way it was made.
Okay. So now what we're going to do is cover it.
Yes.
And put it in the oven at 325 to 350 for about 3.5, to 4 hours. Well, it's been in the oven now about 4 hours, and we're going to go take a look at it, okay? So here we have, and this is what it looks like. Now, what we can do, a good way to plate it, is in a platter form, and I like with a little lip on it. It'll make a nice presentation. Ma, why don't you show them how you would plate it?
Well, the only thing, I would like to take the knedel out first on the platter, and I will cut it in pieces. Then put the whole thing, spoonful, or you can tip it over.
So then you spoon it out. You see all these wonderful, beautiful colors. We have the deep oranges from
It looks pretty.
from the carrots, and the little lighter orange from the sweet potato, and the prunes, of course, the darker, and the meat.
I'm anxious to taste it myself. Let me see the sauce. Did it come out? Oh, perfect. If the sauce ever comes out too thin, according to the way you like it, you can take off some sauce and mix with a little bit of potato starch for Passover, or cornstarch during the year. It will be perfect.
Now, let me just say about thickening, just so you know, on cornstarch, is the best way to use equal amounts of cornstarch and water, cold water. And you mix it together till the starch dissolves, and then you add that to your mixture.
Okay.
After it's done. Don't add the cornstarch directly.
That's okay.
To the mixture.
This looks beautiful. Now we can take pieces all around. I didn't cut the whole thing, but most of it all around. So people can pick a piece at a time to put on the plate.
Enjoy. Wait, stay right there. I'm going to give you a taste.
I want to taste.
No, not you. I'm going to give this person a taste right here. Enjoy. Enjoy.